Yep. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A, B, C. I might get a little bit louder at times. A little bit up, up, up. Check, check. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Check, check. Hello, hello, and welcome. Keep going. 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2, 3. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, I don't have anything coming through my ears, but that's okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, fair. Hello, 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 hello. That's not too... That sounds... Yeah, it's just coming through. Yeah, just. That's okay, though. Like, the main thing is, like, I just want to know if I'm peaking the microphone sometimes. Like, if I'm getting loud, sometimes I feel like I get a bit peaky. Yeah. It should be fine. Like, most of the time I'm just talking like this, so it's not a big deal. It's more just if a goal goes in. But even then, it's not often. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I have to go and do some hunting for some steam sheets, so you don't quite... I've got one side, but Glenorchy, sorry, Devonport's aren't showing up. The app they... Oh, no, there they are. That's good. All good. till the teams walk out. Hello and welcome to KG5 for this round 10 WSL matchup between Glenorchy Knights and the Devonport Strikers. It's been a tale of another juggernaut season for the Strikers thus far, coming off a win in the Statewide Cup last week, going back-to-back in that competition and looking to double up and do the double again 2 years in a row. They've made the journey down Midlands Highway and to the northern suburbs of Hobart to take on this feisty Glenorchy team, a team that has a lot of potential and a lot of young players, a lot of talent, and they have been a great team to watch throughout their 2-year tenure in the WSL. Is a bit of a gap on the table at the moment. Again, Devonport just undefeated this season, 8 wins from 8 games, and Glenorchy in 5th at the moment, tied with Kingborough. So it is an opportunity if they can get a point here to sort of leapfrog them. I would say that's probably their main rivals this season. In their last game, they played against South Hobart and were good money for the lead in that first half of the game. And South Hobart did just run over the top of them in the second. But I thought Coach Victor Bologna made some really interesting tactical tweaks that I think he'll have to sort of go to the whiteboard again today to try to quell just this, as I said earlier, just a titanic team, this Devonport Strikers side. Just so much talent all over the pitch. They know what they're doing. Very solid in each of their roles and have a good physical edge as well. So definitely a tough test for Devonport. I think Glenorchy were one of the few teams that did actually take points off them last year. Didn't beat them, but did take points off them. So see if that won't be the case again here today. I'll quickly run you through the lineups as the captains have chosen to switch sides. So Glenorchy, the home team, in their blue kit with Monique Pinkovitz in goal. Have Charlotte Butler, Bronte Gadon, 2 of the more attacking players in the team and both supremely talented. Sarah Bologna, who's had a great year. Summer Neal, Emma Christie, another young player. Graciela Baez has made her way back into the team. A good in for Glenorchy. Ebony Pitt, Ava Wiley, Madison Lennox and Jess Shreve, who'll be marshalling in that defensive midfield position for Devonport. A classic 11 for them. Michaela Mitchell will be in goal with Tully Park, Georgia King and Adelaide Bidwell. Classic in their centre-back positions, although maybe looks like slightly different way they're lining up with Annabelle Wiley there. Lucy Foote, Aska Doy, Whitney Knight, making those attacking midfield positions with EJ Sullivan, Grace Sims and Gemma Matthews, rounding out the 11 for Devonport. So underway in the sunshine here at KG5. Devonport taking the kick-off and quickly on the counter press. Glenorchy do get a little bit of control over the ball from Baez. Bologna tries to spread it wide. And a little bit of a contested ball out on that far side as Bologna clears it up forward. Guidon bringing it down nicely. That's an interesting little ball inside by Lennox. Baez. Butler. She's got pace. And big sliding challenge on the artificial pitch from the Devonport captain, Georgia King. Good start for Glenorchy so far. This is what they did against South Hobart. They did come out pretty strongly and thought had the better of the play in that game, which maybe somewhat unexpected a few weeks ago down at Darcy Street. They really took it to that team that did run Devonport reasonably close in that cup final. Obviously, Devonport running out fairly comfortable victors in the end. A lot of goals in that game. And they do just have that characteristic thing of, again, really like the men's team of a few years ago that were just dominating the NPL. A little bit of aura about them and a bit of clinicality about them as well. They just do what needs to be done. They've got the physical edge and they know how to use it. As Bidwell gets on the ball. Sims. Baez. So Christie trying to play it through for Butler. It's a nice ball into Uskadoy. It's been a great injection into the WSL this season. Lovely play from foot. And out of play goes beautiful conditions here for football today at KG5. Nice and sunny, just a tiny bit of wind. It is a little bit chilly in the grandstand here today where we are in the shade. But for the players it should be good as the corner comes in and over the top. Doy was there. Away from Lennox. And I think that's where Glenorchy got a little bit exposed against South Hobart, was at those set pieces. Lucy Roberts putting a ball in to the box, got finished off. One of the corners I think it was to get South Hobart ahead in that game. Here's King. Tries to find Whitney Knight. Just hovering around that sort of link-up hook position. It's nicely done by Christie. In goes Guidon. Pretty tight here. Knight trying to get through a few players. Baez. Some of the Glenorchy players also coming off that cup final last week in the under-18s. As Lucy Foote goes through, she's got some space, tries to play it in behind Doy, and that's well cleared away by Summer Neal. Bayer is one of those players who's been in the WSL for a few seasons now, coming through at Zebras, and still such a young team all around. They're a team that, if they can stay together for a few years, they've already sort of put some good results on the board. Do you think they will just grow as a club and be able to sort of move up through maybe challenging that South Hobarts and Devonports of the world in a few seasons? It's a nice ball in again. Doy's at the back post and just nods it in. And we were talking about that physical advantage. They've been looking for it. It's a nice deep ball from King. Whole Glenorchy defence got caught under it, and they look for Doy off that corner. And it's 1-0 Devonport early in this one. And you say they do have a physical edge. They do have a fairly good height advantage through on most teams in the league as well. And Doy, she did against University in the Cup semi-final, scoring nicely off the corner. And it's not what you would want to see as a Glenorchy supporter, but Devonport, as we touched upon in the pre-game, they are just clinical. They'll score goals like that, and they'll put pressure on. Georgia King, such a good dead ball taker. player after my own heart there with the centre-back coming up to take the corner. And, yeah, beautiful delivery. And, again, Pinkovitz got caught underneath it, as did a lot of other Glenorchy defenders. And then just bundled in, really, for the Devonport striker to put home. Glenorchy do have a free kick here. Can they strike back quickly? It's a bit of a challenging one in the sun there for Mitchell. She'll fairly easily take that in the end. It was well marshalled again by Georgia King. And Doi takes it nicely down again. That's very silky. Sullivan trying to cut inside. Took a little bit too much time over it. And now Bidwell and Baez go at it. Two really good young players. That's a nice match-up there. And also remarked upon, normally Bidwell at that centre-back position. She's come up and playing in defensive midfield today. Wiley taking the centre-back, and she'll make a good challenge on Lennox, who does have a bit of pace up forward for Devonport. And Glenorchy will need to respond here. They look like they've come in with a bit of energy, just a bit of a wake-up call from that goal. And it might almost be a bit of a management sort of situation from those set-piece situations. And look like they've been mixing it well in open play so far. Pitt goes through. It's a nice kind of searching ball for Butler. Neal and Baez. So almost get sniped from the ball in the grandstand. Linking up well down that right-hand side. And as I also remarked about in pre-game, Glenorchy were trying out a bit of a different shape against South Hobart, more of a three at the back, and Addison Broadbent had a classic game. She's not in the squad this week. Again, she's one of the ones who backed up in that Under-18 Cup final. And I think actually they're looking for more of almost a player marking situation on Whitney Knight, making sure that she doesn't get loose. So Pitt and Christie looking like they've got eyes on Knight the entire time, and that's something I've sort of been advocating for a lot of clubs to potentially go towards, is try and mark Whitney Knight out of the game. But at the same time, Devonport have so much talent across the pitch, and Doi one of those players that if she does get marked out of the game, they have other ways to hurt you. Sullivan tries to chop it forward. And out of play for a Glenorchy throw. Settling in open play so far. Both teams struggling to sort of hold on to the ball at the moment. It's been a lot of this sort of hard tackling in the midfield. That's a nice ball through from Godon. I think it was Park looking for a throw in, and she does get one. It's across the line out on that far side. There's Christie, nice poke through. Butler now. It's chopped away by Annabelle Wiley. Let's go remember the two Wileys on different teams here. Annabelle for Devonport, and Ava might get it here. No, she won't. It's a nice ball from Shreve. Pitt on the half turn, tries to play through Butler. In goes Christie. Nicely done by Bronte Godon. And just such a calm player, creative player. Looks for Godon again. Baez playing it back. Shreve with pressing from Doi. They work it out well, Glenorchy. That's a nice bit of possession. Here's Pitt. She'll get there first. A little bit heavy on the touch and just poked away. But they'll get it back in control. Shreve will look to set it up again. Much of a quarterback. Baez spent it before she had it. And probably had a bit more time to take that on the turn. It's a nice ball through from Knight, and Lucy Foote with a good looking shot. Nice shape on it, but well wide in the end. That was a superb threaded ball through from Whitney Knight, and even if you are sort of marking her out of the game, just a window of space there to play that through pass. Didn't need much. space at all. Now Devonport will look to control a little bit more here. They haven't had too much of that. It's almost been a bit more of a counter-attacking sort of situation from Devonport. Mitchell sprays the ball out well for Gemma Matthews. Nice touch, the young fullback. She plays a longer ball. That should be fairly easily collected by the goalkeeper. It's also been a bit of a stop-start period for the Glenorchy Knights in this last few weeks. I think the nature of the WSL having that uneven number of teams does lend to these early season points where you might only play 1 or 2 games in the space of kind of a month, if not longer. They had the bye before the South Hobart game, and then a weekend before that one. And then last week, obviously, with the public holiday and the cup final up north. So they haven't played a lot of football in this last month or a month and a half, really. And sometimes get those runs. It can be a little bit hard to build up that momentum. Maybe it has also given them a little bit more time to prepare for these 2 big challenges that they've had kind of 2 rounds in a row. It's nicely turned out of trouble by Tully Park. She'll get it back. Nice 1-2 from Sullivan. Ball doesn't stay in, though. And they've got a lot of young players coming through as well. Equally, you talk about Glenorchy, this kind of young team. Really, the whole team is doesn't have a whole lot of WSL experience, or not even that. They've had a bit of experience at young ages, but sort of coming through when they're sort of under 18 level. Whereas Devonport, they do just have that spine of great experience. Done it for so many years. Georgia King in particular, but also her sister Lucy Foote, Ulverston, and then Devonport. It's a nice turn from Butler, though. Tries to find Godon, just can't quite corral that pass. But they will recycle through Baez. And now Foote will come away with it. Talk about Foote, you also talk about Whitney Knight, one of the more experienced players in the league in terms of what level she's played at. She'll get it here again. She's just found that pocket of space, as she does so well. Turns on that right foot and slips in Askadoy. Can she turn? Goes on her left foot and hits it well, and it's a great save by Pinkovitz. Just batting it away over the top. That's a beautiful bit of counter-attacking football from Devonport. Knight and Doy, when they link up in full flight. It's not many sites like it across Tasmanian football. Pinkovitz has been a really good in for Glenorchy this season. She had a really good first half against South Hobart in particular, and I kept referring to that game. I think it is a similar sort of test for Glenorchy today. Obviously, South a little bit behind Devonport in the league and didn't get up in that cup final. It's a decent ball in, and this time King hasn't found the range. I think it's almost took herself out on the post there. Didn't want to sneak one in the front post. I have seen King score from the corner before directly. And that one maybe wasn't too far away. You sort of see it and you think, oh, maybe that wasn't the best corner, but inch probably to the right, and that might find its way in. Glenorchy, I'll try and build out through this Devonport press. They're setting up quite high. They've got 4 players up trying to press. Foot's one of them. She will try and get the ball away. It was well managed in the end by the Glenorchy fullback. She didn't have a lot of options out there. Forward again from EJ Sullivan. Well, one again. Glenorchy as Butler tries to chase down one from Wiley, but she'll just get the throw. Yeah, so just a traditional back 4 for Glenorchy this week. Again, not quite finish off my point. They have been experimenting with a few different kind of looks at the back there. Shreve played as a defensive midfielder a couple of weeks ago. I think for Devonport, they're also experimenting with a slightly different look. Annabelle Wiley, I think, has played in probably every position on the park over the past couple of seasons for Devonport. She's slotting at centre back, and Annalie Bidwell making the step up into the defensive midfield. Wiley's clearance isn't the best. Lennox is coming. I think she almost got there first, but I think she'll get to foot in and does clear it away. Dangerous, dangerous ball. And this is where maybe just playing with that central defensive partnership. King just sort of coaching up her centre-back partner there. Here's Pitt. Nice slip pass through. Again, Butler hasn't quite had her boots tied up correctly today. Can be a super threatening player. I guess the other point we should touch on Glenorchy as well, without their erstwhile striker as well. Jemima Brown, who had a fairly bad injury again in that game at South a few weeks ago. For her sake, that she's okay, but one of the young talents in the league that, I mean, at least last season, really burst onto the scene, and maybe hasn't had quite the success this year in terms of goal scoring, but still a good runner. And I think the Butler and Brown kind of partnership there is one that you'd be hanging your hat on as a Knights supporter for the next little while. It's Park. It's on the ball there. His foot. Sullivan. Nice little 1-2 with Park. He chops it forward and does release Doy in some good space here. She's got Sims at the back post. Look for her and gets the ball over there. Sims gets a touch on. Nice footwork and just didn't have the angle. That was a really good recovery from Summer Neal. Had to win her duel there and did. Really solid ball from Doy, just pinpoint on the cross. So many players get a little bit too excited in that situation and blaze away. She sort of smoked it in there. Little pass, and Sims, in some ways, probably had a better opportunity taking it first time, but to be fair to her, it was on the half volley. And this is that thing about Devonport. Even if you feel like you're in the game, which I think Knights have been in terms of their possession, just how smooth they are on the break is really another level. Big Doy there, getting out in space well, and I think Sullivan had a good season last year, but I think he's really gone to another level this season. She's another young player involved with the state setups. His foot tries to hunt down that ball and does create a bit of chaos. Lennox tries to pass it through. Ava Wiley's made a good bombing on run. And she'll just let it run out of play. Rolling away it goes. Wiley will take the throw for Glenorchy. And out of play again. Doy's operating on this wider kind of area at the moment. Her and Foot will try and interchange a little bit. Foot will have to run in centrally when Doy floats out towards that right wing. Here is Foot getting it through the middle now. Low ball for Knight. Bayes using her speed well. I think they'll have to use that sort of useful running. Knight has been bothered by a little bit of a knee at times. It was a good tackle there, but not the ball that Knight's attack would have wanted to see. As Matthews will throw it in to King. Put a characteristic long ball looking for her sister. Foot does get a head on it. Shreve will mop up and find Gidon. Operates well in space. Lennox is well onside here. Devonport wanted it, but Sullivan tracking back well. It's a big wind sprint from the fullback. Lennox with a decent ball in. Bayers, can she get there? A little foot in from Gidon, and Bidwell does enough to chop it away. Well done by Butler. He's going to have to round the fullback. Tries to cut in on Matthews. Matthews just holding it up well. It's probably Glenorchy's most promising attack in some ways. At Devonport defence, they do work hard back. Butler. Their best touch is Lennox and Sullivan. Two strong, quick players. Sullivan does enough to corral it out, and she'll chuck it forward. We'll go long and high up for Shreve to nod down. Well challenged by Foot. Christie shovels it out. And the ball down the line from Wiley. It's a little bit off. They haven't had the best sort of symbiosis over there on the left wing so far. Wiley and Lennox just a little bit off at the moment, and I think that's, again, with Brown out, Lennox probably filling in, looking for a rare start for her out there. Glenorchy operating with a bit of a false 9 in Bronte Gidon. She's definitely the most advanced central player. They say they're almost playing a bit of a diamond midfield here. Pitt's working hard to get there. She can't get a foot in. That's well tracked down by Sims. Tries to lay it off for Knight, but pass each other like chips in the night. As Gidon looks like she just copped an elbow on the way through there. Went to take that ball, and Bidwell just sliding in front. And they do just pick it up for a drop ball, I think. I don't know if the referee's pulling it back for a free kick. I think that's probably fair enough, just with the high contact. Do like Bidwell a little bit further up the park, just for those sort of situations. She will be a physical presence, much like her brother on the NPL side. King will launch it long. Looking for Foot in behind, who's made a good run. Sort of hits her in the thigh. Does bring it down in the end. Gidon trying to work back well. All hands on deck here for Glenorchy. Sullivan, nice cross in, and Pinkovic to come and takes it well. And Sullivan working hard forward and back. Gets her a lot of running back there. Pinkovic with a nice take. Butler trying to put King under pressure. Matthews underhits her pass. Bayers looking for Lennox, uses her body well. Wiley, again, just physical presence here. Matthews goes in hard. Here goes Butler. Can she get any space? Does get through. There's a ball in. A little half hop for Gidon. Swings on her left, hits it well, and finds the bottom corner. They knotted up 1-1. Bronte Gidon with great spin and finish, and just evading the outstretched arm of Michaela Mitchell. And you just see that youthful exuberance of the Glenorchy Knights. Able to knot this one up. They went down early. Glenorchy have been under the pump multiple times this game. Really their first good opportunity, and Gidon good enough just to stick it away. And just had wrong-footed Mitchell just slightly there. Now Devonport, I'll be straight onto this. I don't like conceding too often, and conceded a few last week, and they responded every time that South Hobart asked a question of them. Will they do so again here? Here's Sims. Her ball's low. Shreve probably could have let that one through. Instead, she'll clear it. Matthews, early ball. Doi. Foot. Nice use of the body, but well shoved off it again by Christie. Sullivan working her way forward. And nicely done by Wiley to shield out for a corner, but these have been very, very dangerous for Devonport. As the player is down behind the play, I think it's Butler who set up that goal. Just having a seat on the side of the pitch for now. Sure, having a little drink. Maybe just a little winded or a little notch. She's gone off now, just get checked out. And so the Knights will be down a player. This will be a very dangerous situation. Even Lennox want to go back here. King slices it a little bit, but it's a decent area. Shreve does well to get ahead on that one. Doi hunting it down though. Park. Knight. It's been impressive when she has had the ball today. It's nicely done by Wiley. She'll run it through a couple and another one. Then she shoots and gets blocked. Doi follows up. Blocked again. Summer Neal shielding it out. It will be another corner. See that response from the strikers straight away. They are putting the Knights under the pump here. I want to get that lead back straight away. It's been a good response from the Knights so far. Can the strikers go up again here? We're looking for Doi at that back stick. It's a short one this time from King, not her best work. Normally a very dangerous set piece taker. We all have our moments where you just don't catch it quite right. Glenorchy will feel pretty relieved to get out of that without having to field the ball into their 6-yard box. Figovitz gets it restarted. Nicely won by Bidwell. Here's Knight dancing through a couple of tackles. She'll go again onto her left foot this time. Trying to find it. Characteristic little ball rollover. King. Away by Lennox. Devonport just ratcheting up that pressure now. It's an interesting little ball. Misread by Wiley. Doi, little low ball just behind foot. That would have sat up very nicely for her, but just had to put the brakes on. Butler's back on the pitch now. She's trying to get around Matthews. It's been a good battle back there. Butler wins that one. Gudon just reset the ball here for Glenorchy, and they will want to just take a breather here. Shreve will lump it out wide. Sullivan just couldn't get there on the half volley. Now Lennox, a bit of room to move. Just got to head down, barreling forward, and just does enough. Sullivan, she did trip over herself a little bit there, Lennox, but Sullivan did come straight through the back. And now Doi. She will wind up and hit a decent one. Had the right sort of height to hit over Pinkovitz. As good as Pinkovich has been, doesn't quite have the height that would have kept that one out. There's another player down. Looks like Bronte Gudon is going down. Maybe a bit of skin off her knee, potentially. Let me get the binoculars out for that one. It's a bit perilous on these artificial pitches sometimes, especially when there hasn't been any water on them. She'll hobble off. It's like she's walking away. Don't want anything to happen to her in the engine room. Again, just has that special quality. You probably tell that I'm a big fan of how Gudon goes about her work. Can just really link play well, and again, if you're a Knights supporter, you don't want to see her out of the game for too long. And Devonport, again, the player advantage here. Here's Knight. Odds it through Bidwell. Matthews. Mitchell.
King. Surveying that field, plays a long ball through. Maybe a little bit too aggressive on this occasion. I think Devonport, they've been good with this direct sort of play so far, but a couple of times where maybe they should look to build through their midfield a little bit more. Tully Park's been pretty good. She'll get the ball again. Just hoovering up those little loose balls. Playing with a really classic double pivot here, Devonport. And they'll play through their 10 at the moment. Here's Sullivan. Really doesn't have a lot of support, so she'll have to reset back to Park. Nice 1-2 again. Wiley tries to recover. This has been a good battle out here on the right wing. Sullivan just keeps her feet well. Puts a good ball in, and Doy is like a mosquito in there at the front post. Nicked it out in front of Bologna. Quite the little slide you need off the front of your head for those. You almost make too good contact when you're at the front post, and you'll just head it straight into the side netting. Devonport escape a little bit. Sullivan again proving how dynamic she can be, both going forward and defensively. Butler again, if she's in the wars. Wiley, Doy, Knight. The link-up play between these two have just been something special so far. They can't get it more forward than that. Now Lennox in behind Sullivan. And she's got a bit of pace. She'll get there first. Sullivan, hands behind her back. Nicely done. Good recovery from the fullback. Fouling. Now Lennox tries to hook it in there again. Didn't really have much support out there. Foot with a little fancy little back heel. And Wiley recovering. Just enough to shield it out. Didn't have to touch it. Still got a little bit to go as we approach the second half, and I think Glenorchy will be very happy to have got back into this one. I think Devonport definitely with more chances. Haven't been super clear cut apart from the corner. That was a bit of a gimme for Oscar Doy. Sims has had a couple of half opportunities so far. I think someone will see how much defensive focus she has. Had some really hard matchups these last couple of weeks. Going against Maddie Chambers. I thought did very well in that game as well before coming off. Here's Wiley. Foot. It's taken off her own Park. Coming across. Starting to get a little bit more in the game, the Devonport with defensive midfield pivots. I want to play through them a bit more. Park's got some space. King will say, I'll just take that space instead. Now they've got a big overlap on this right-hand side. Here's Park. She goes back into King. Goes centrally. Sullivan was in a bit of a paddock out there if she wanted to go further wide. I think that's what... When you do have King who can carry that ball out of the fence, can create those sorts of overloads. It's very, very dangerous. And she's marauding forward again here. That's a massive tackle from Bayers. Had to get her foot in as King had gone forward. Wiley's clearance isn't the best. Matthews is right on the back of Lennox, though. Lennox will just keep going. Bidwell's covering. Again, doesn't make a clean tackle, but does enough to halt the progress of the young Glenorchy winger. Godon's still off on that far side for Glenorchy. Probably remiss to say they've been down a player for a little while. She's just sort of limping her way around the sideline over there. Don't know how much comfort she's in at the moment, and might give a little bit of a headache for Glenorchy. I don't know if they can really... Can they hold out till half-time with 10 players? Yeah, definitely not coming on anytime soon. There's still just a bit of conversation with the trainer over there. So if you're Devonport, this is the time to strike. You'll have that numbers advantage. I think if it was later in the game, you would just make the sub straight away. with Gidon being one of their more important players. Just looking at their bench, they do have Millie Barrich back in the fold on the team sheet. I think she will be an important in for them throughout the season. But a bit of a different look, of a more classic sort of winger attacking player. I'll have to play with an out-and-out striker if they bring her on for Gidon. Again, it's just defensive shape here for Glenorchy. Wiley trying to corral Sullivan. Park. Play it back to Sullivan. Cuts inside. Nice cut. Gets a bit of space. Foot comes in. And well done by Bologna. She's got nothing ahead of her. Understandably so, with the numbers advantage that Devonport have at the moment. They will make a substitution here, Glenorchy. I think they have gotten the signal from Gidon that she's done for the day. It's a big out for them. But with that comes a big opportunity for Juliet Tassin. So they change up the shape here. So they're very unfortunate for Glenorchy and Bronte Gidon herself after a really good goal. But they do even up the numbers game here for now. I think with Brown and Gidon, you'd hope if you're a Glenorchy fan and a really fan of the league that they're not out for too much longer. And now too serious. So we'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds. Devonport will just continue putting that pressure on though. Here goes Knight. Will nod it away by Pitt. Bologna's under a bit of pressure from Doy. Park. Foot. Very narrow here at the moment, Devonport though. It's well done by Butler. Swings forward. Baez. She'll get the ball now, and it's a lovely little touch forward for Butler. Doesn't really have much to aim for, and I think tried to nod it back for Baez. They're packed very deep here, Glenorchy. Foot. Nice header. Doy, just with that little bit of class that she has. They're just packed so narrow here, Glenorchy. It's going to be very, very hard to break down going inside into these areas. I think Doy is one of the players who probably could dribble through about 4 players if she wanted to. Again, just encountering that brick wall. This is what they'll need to do a bit more of, Devonport. Getting it wide. Sullivan, heavy touch though. And Wiley will be very happy to shield that out. I think for Glenorchy, going into this game, he'd be delighted if they could get out with a point. There's so much more to play in this game though. Forward it goes for Wiley. Get a little bit of a pressure under that back pass. Mitchell will have to come all the way outside her box. Sullivan nods it forward. Bologna got too far under it. And now they've got a numbers advantage here, the strikers. And that ball from Foot just gave Knight far too much to do. Haven't really been able to spring the likes of Sims in behind as yet. Foot herself as well. It's probably one place where Glenorchy do have some pace and strength. Neal and Wiley able to contest in those areas. That's well held up by Park. She'll earn a free kick as Glenorchy player just going straight through the back of her. Sullivan might have got away with a moving ball there, just sort of knocking it back. You don't want to pull those up just for the flow of the game. No real meaningful difference there. Here's Tayton, and she thought Neil was behind her. And yeah, big step up, big shoes to fill. Some of these Glenorchy players. Thrown in by Matthews. We should mention as well the
Matthews playing in that position for Holly Emmett, who's not on the team sheet today, hasn't made the trip down for the Strikers. And she's a player that has, along with Sullivan, really evolved into a pretty dynamic sort of fullback duo for the Strikers. One of these very hard tackling players. Very hard to shake off your hip once she's on you. Here's Park. Can Devonport break down this narrow, nice defence? Not for now. Counter press though comes. Doi with a bit of space, but doesn't really know who to kick it to. Goes back in towards Park. Looking for the overload out wide. Sullivan's in space out there, and Knight was looking for her. Just a little bit pressured off. Here's Sims cutting inside. Away by Baez. Mitchell now. She'll get in for King. Payton on the ball, being harassed off it by Annalee Bidwell. A little bit more space for her. Neal under pressure now, and Sims does well. I think that might have been a Glenorchy ball just off the foot of Sims. They sort of skews that one away. And Sims will win it back this time. So Matthews coming up. Approaching half time here. Devonport will want to go into the sheds. Reaffirming that 1-0 lead. That's a decent ball from Doi. Foot's in the area, but Pinkovitz will just lie down on this one. I think for, as I said earlier, for the Knights, they'll be wanting just to hold out to half time and probably reassess where they're at. It's all feet to the gas pedal. Devonport from here. I want to make sure they can go in with a bit of confidence and not have to rejig things too much. Sullivan. It's been very hard in these areas for Devonport so far. It's a bit better. Knight with a little 1-2. Sullivan. Again, just a little bit too close to the keeper, and Pinkovitz eats those for breakfast. Maybe not their best throw out though. That was a bit of a hospital pass for Ava Wiley. 2 Devonport players on her and nothing ahead of her.
Oh, how do
Foot trying to weevil her way down the line. And it's out of play again by Sullivan. Offside. Little throw-in trick. Ball straight back to the thrower, and as soon as she throws in an offside position. And Knights have had far less of it since that goal's gone in. Sort of did work their way well into the game and had almost no possession since. It's been a lot of this sort of play from the Strikers, just trying to probe any weaknesses in the Knights' defence. Butler tries to nick it around the outside of Matthews. She's got a bit of pace. King comes across to cover, and that will do for the Knights winger. Can they steal a goal here? In a decent position. They don't really have anyone forward for them. They're playing 2 kind of wide strikers right now. No real central threat. Bayers likes to drop deep. Has played a fair bit of striker sort of coming through at Zebras a few years ago. She'll lead in and go back around. Tatum's in the area and King will just chop it forward. Pitt trying to get through there. Tatum's ball's a little bit undercooked. Bologna has to field this one. Not certain on the bouncing ball, and they do enough just to hold it up. But Devonport, a bit of a
attacking opportunity here. You want to see Whitney Knight on the ball if you're a Strikers supporter. He's got Bidwell in an acre of space in the hole if she wants it. Park just takes a little bit too much time on it. They try and release her again. But Sullivan straight back on it. She'll hit a long one. Bit of a speculative ball. Pinkovich has to be clean as Doy's following in. Almost made that a little bit harder than maybe she needed to, but took a bit of a vicious hop straight in front. Ball loops in. Butler. Away by King. Shreve has enough time to just bring it down. She'll launch it forward. Pretty similar players in that way. Want to just direct traffic and play these searching passes. It's not a bad one from Shreve. She's got Lennox in the box. A bit of a ricochet of pinball happening over there. You never know where that might end up. It does end up out of play. Christie. Lennox. Nicely done by Wiley. Christie again. Spreading it wide. A bit of space to probe into. Summer Neal. Well done by Doy, who's tracked back. Sims will try and look for opposite winger. Bologna bursting through. Again, it's been a lot of this pinball action in the middle here. Glenorchy are playing so narrow that it's been very hard for either team really to get any play through their midfield. Here's Knight. In a rare pocket of space for her. Well bodied off by Baez. Tries to release Butler. Got a bit of space. I think King will get there first though. Just a little step over. And that will be the end of what is a very intriguing half here at KG5. 1-1 at the moment, with Devonport going up very early in the game through an Asuka Doy header at the back stick off a Georgia King corner, and then Glenorchy just working their way back into it well, and nice run down the line from Charlotte Butler, able to find Bronte Guidon, who span on her left foot and put it away. There are a few injuries for Glenorchy at the moment, with Guidon having to go off halfway through that half, and they'll have to rejig things a little bit just to sort out what they're doing. And for the Strikers, haven't had as much clean play as they would have liked. A couple of good opportunities, and definitely had all the play. I mean, the better team for sure, but haven't been able to put that on the scoreboard so far. So all to play for in the second half, and I hope you'll join me for it in just a while.
All great eras leave a legacy. In this golden age of peak chicken, that legacy is crumbs. McWings are here at Mac. All great eras leave a legacy. In this golden age of peak chicken, that legacy is crumbs. McWings are here at Macca's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. All great eras leave a legacy. In this golden age of peak chicken, that legacy is crumbs. McWings are here at Macca's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
That was terrible, wasn't it? It wasn't very good, was it? sort it.
Yep. Welcome back to KG5 for the round 10 WSL matchup between the Devonport Strikers and the Glenorchy Knights. Evenly poised here at halftime, 1-1 the score. And it's been a good game in terms of its competitiveness, but some of the football hasn't been the most free-flowing, but good signs for the league that we are seeing a good close game here. A splendid sunshine at KG5. A couple of the shadows from the grandstand just coming over the ground a little bit now. But should be an intriguing contest for this second half. Glenorchy have really taken it to the the Devonport Strikers. And they will again here. Here's Butler. It's been probably their main attacking outlet so far. In goes Doy. And big foot in by Lennox, just a little bit too strong. And Devonport will go try and get this one underway again. I wonder if they're going to make any sort of adjustments, both coaching staff. It's probably known for their adaptability. And as we have a lot of experienced heads in this Devonport lineup, and we'll want to be drawing on all of that today as this game sort of edges away. Still feel like Devonport are strong favourites. They have had pretty much all of the attacking play. I would say the goal probably one of the few sort of opportunities that Glenorchy have had. But they've also created a couple of sort of half chances. As long as this game goes, I guess it's more about holding on. Glenorchy, a long way to go in this one, though, before that happens. Just having a quick look. Looks like Knights have made a change in goals at half-time as well. So maybe Pinkovic's having to head off. Or just a bit of a change. Just trying to catch the number of
the keeper. Assume it would be Casey Bumford wearing the number 1. We'll double check that when we get the opportunity. Here's King with ball in and away. Nicely headed away by Pitt. Oh, Wiley could have lined up a long shot there. Georgia King is floating around looking for a teammate and finds Lucy Foote, and the sisters combine well. King just kind of working away forward. Nicely done by Knight. Turns the corner. Foote lumps it in the box. Shreve has to be good. Does get a clearance away. Foote. There's Park. Played into Knight. Wants a little run back off. Plays it into the Doy direction. Oh, just a little bit of a miscommunication between Bidwell and Doy. And Glenorchy get out of this one. And now Lennox is going to try and press Matthews. He decides to take it herself. A nice little spin around. In goes a nice ball for Lucy Foote to chase down. Bologna makes a cutout, but not the best clearance. Foote just slides it into Doy. Nice 1-2. Foote lines it up, chips it over the top, and a big hand over the top from Casey Bumford, who's just come on at half-time. That's a one you don't really want to see as a substitute keeper, but probably good to be in the game early. Just making sure she's solid with her handwork there. And slightly taller keeper than Pinkovitz, and as I said, Pinkovitz has been in pretty good touch. I thought was decent in that first half, but able to get those sort of chippy balls that you sometimes get in this league. King, well away by Shreve, big header away. King again, doubled up at the back post. Foote, and it will go out for another corner. King's only really had one that she's missed today. It's been pretty pinpoint in terms of the sort of areas you want to hit as a corner taker. Right at the top of that 6-yard box. It was in the middle for someone to take, but Shreve nicely positioned. And you can see Knights, they sort of go with this 2 centre-backs. Well, Pitt, not a centre-back, but 2 players zoning off. Front and back post. Everyone else player marking. Wiley's free at the top of the box, and she will get it and hit it early and gets a hold of it, but just with a bit too much backspin. I think that's one of those ones that a little bit harder than you often think when it's coming back towards you like that. Your eyes light up and think, geez, this is a good one to get onto, but if you don't sort of hit it flat, you'll get underneath it very quickly and sky it over the top. I think it's one of those ones where if your body possession isn't quite right, like it wasn't quite there for Wiley, that's what's going to happen. Knights are trying to play out. It's a threatening sort of ball. Butler can't get there. It's well marshalled off by Annabelle Wiley. The glasses. Taten's in the middle there. Doy, little poke through, looking for Whitney Knight. Bumford, again, you can see just trying to get a bit of a handle on this ball, making sure she's all good, and heaves it forward. It's a nice long kick and nodded on by Lennox. Butler's not really in the area though. Now Devonport will try and just set something up here. I think Park and Bidwell a little bit too close together in the double pivot, and they'll get bypassed. That's a pretty good raking pass from Georgia King, though. And Sims, she does have pace to burn. And nice foot in by Summer Neal. He's had a good game so far. On that right-hand flank for Glenorchy. But another corner here. And as I said earlier, King's been pretty much bang on with her delivery so far today. And I think the eyes will all be on Whitney Knight and Asuka Doy here. Boy, just coming into that sort of back post zone again. I think King will be wanting to launch it a little bit deeper than she has. It's towards the middle and away by Tayson. There's Knight who's lurking at the box. A foot. A bit of a challenging one, but Bumford well covered. See, she's quite a confident keeper, just over her, I guess, over her head, which is good to see. That can be challenged. Probably see a little bit less in men's football, where keepers tend to be a little bit taller. Glenorchy trying to play out here. I was just trying to listen into a little bit of instruction from the sideline there. Just trying to just tell Sarah Bologna not to play it in there. They've got a bit of a pressing trap right in that sort of forward pocket kind of zone, to use some Australian football parlance. King again has been very dangerous when she's been able to get on the run like that. That's a brilliant ball. Bologna's bursting forward and bodies Sullivan off the ball and out for a goal kick. Referee said it wasn't quite enough contact to merit a free kick. If Sullivan went down, she might have earned one there. Now Knights are setting up. They're going to go long. Now Bologna will have to play a different sort of ball and just tries to chop it out. It was maybe a little bit underprepared from Knights just out of that situation. Almost better off just Shreve hitting it forward. But in saying that again, the strikers have, I guess, the height all over the park. It's a very, generally, fairly physical side. Ball comes in. Pitt will get it forward. Lennox. King comes forward from Matthews. Sims really chasing this ball down, making it hard work for Summerhill. They have been going at it all day. Two young guns out there. And as I said, Neil been very good defensively, mainly just focusing on that. I think both Knights fullbacks. Ava Wiley tends to be a little bit more attacking, but against this Devonport side, it's very hard to sort of leave that back four and sort of make your centre-backs do extra work where they might double you up with Lucy Foot. Here's Wiley. Does keep it in well. Will skip off the turf. Doesn't do Wiley any favours. The Ava variety for Glenorchy. It comes through. And out for another goal kick. I think any sort of moment like this for Glenorchy will be viewed as gold. It just doesn't feel like they've got much attacking thrust really since Bronte Giddon went off. And it's very valid just to be defending. And they've been doing it pretty well so far. They've been really well drilled in the midfield. Knight and Doy haven't combined too much like they have just there. That's a good ball from Doy. Bologna goes through on Sullivan. I don't think she got too much of the ball there. Sullivan has no complaints. Could have been half a penalty shout as Bumford sells her captain a little bit there. Bologna was not ready to get that one, and they've put themselves under a lot of pressure here, Glenorchy. I think they've just got to take their time to set up properly if they're going to play out, because they're just putting themselves under undue pressure. Here's Foot. That's a nice ball in. It's going to chip over the top. Bumford again. It's looking for those balls just over her head. As Tom Ballantyne will look to freshen things up here for Devonport. Not in this situation too much, I would say, even though they are tied right now, and Whitney Knight looks like she will come off. I think someone who's been sort of up and down with their fitness this season, so she'll mosey on off. And will be a change up with Mia Smith coming on for Devonport. This might be just a little bit of a different look, potentially. Smith's going over to that left-hand side. Maybe like almost a Doi kind of floating in that 10. Maybe Sims coming into the middle here. Here is Mia Smith. It looks like Sims has come into the middle. And just trying to get a bit more pace into the side, as much as Whitney Knight, I know, does create so much for the strikers and can finish off so much for the strikers. I think they've managed her very well today, Glenorchy. I think in that first period, sort of using Bayers and Pitt kind of as player marking players. Christie's in there. That's not the best ball. Foot does get the pressing trap this time. Tully Park. Here's Doi. Bidwell's running through. That's going to be a bit of a chaos ball here. Foot tries to knot it down. It's a missed clearance. Will come away out for a throw. Devonport have had all the territory in this half. I don't think Knights have got it over their halfway line very much at all, but they haven't had that many clear-cut opportunities. And I guess that is probably the case when you're playing against a team that's fairly parked in terms of defensive shape. That's a nice play. Big tackle from Tayton. Got the ball first this time, and Sullivan been in the wars down that right-hand side a little bit. You can see Tom Ballantyne just doing some actions on the sideline, trying to just get his team going here. I think for the coaching staff, it is just about keeping that foot on the neck of the Glenorchy Knights. Just keeping that pressure up as high as they can. King's ball in. Knotted up by Bologna. Park. Not the best clearance. It's pinging around in there for Glenorchy. Doi will try and track it down. She might just let it go out for a corner, and does. And she might go over just to take this one. She's going to leave it for King. Yeah, she will. King's all the way over the other side of the ground, saying, you take this one. I don't really feel like running over there. She'll sit up at the back post. That short corner is not great from Doi. Maybe it should have been King coming in. Now Butler had to win that one to create an opportunity for the Knights. It, again, will be recycled for Devonport. That's a nice ball over the top. Here's King. Hit it at first time. It's skewed away, and it's a good first time finish. Into the top corner. Had some pace on that one. Ricocheted off the bar. And Annalee Bidwell putting that one away beautifully. She's been playing midfield today. Found both of the existing centre-back pair coming forward. Nicely teed up for her, and Bumford was in a good position but didn't really have much chance of the amount of speed that she put on that. I think King maybe miscued her shot a little bit and wrong-footed everyone but Annalee Bidwell, and she will put that one away and put the Strikers 2 goals to 1 up. And they have had all the ball in this second half. It's been a matter of sensing a matter of time really before they got a goal back. And as sort of hard and bravely as Glenorchy have defended, that sort of possession and territory, something like that will happen. Just win a 50-50 ball, put a good shot on, and stick it into the top corner. And then the Knights from here, it's going to be a hard equation. I did say that early on in the game, but they were playing a little bit better, I will say that much. At least they had a bit more ball. And I think Devonport in the second half, their press has just been a lot more intense, a little bit higher. And they haven't been able to play out as Doi. So dummy in, Bidwell running through. Can she get another goal? Storming through. Away by Shreve. Teed up by Smith. Bidwell again. Wanting a free kick. No free kick given. Tom Ballantyne will have a few words as this dead ball goes out. Yep. But again, foot to the throat of the Knights at the moment as foot goes down. Play made sure the ref knew about that one. She's sort of grinning away down there. It sets up a good free kick opportunity for her sister. Ball in by King. Doy's at the back post, unmarked. Almost didn't have to put a head on that one. And it's 2 goals in as many minutes for the Strikers. Another set-piece action for this team. The King to Doy connection has been a fruitful one this season. Saw that in the semi-final against University. And here again today, it's been 2 goals for Uska Doy off set pieces. And now you have to say the Strikers just asserting their authority here. And it will be a bit of a shift for the Glenorchy coaching staff, hoping they could hold out. And they've just made a little substitution with Zara McLeod coming on, Ava Wiley coming off. From here, yeah, it's going to be a big ask given sort of the attacking outs they have at the moment, with Bronte Goodon going off and Jemima Brown not on the team sheet today. I feel that it might have been a slightly different game if they did have those, but again, you can say that for any team, with Devonport not having Holly Emmett as well. And this has been where Devonport have been having a lot of success. You're just putting the foot on the gas for these high-pressing situations, and Glenorchy have had really nothing coming out of it. Tayton's won that ball well, though. In goes King again. Probably close to Devonport's best on today. I'd say, has that a bit of defensive work to do? And has been solid in what she's done there, but has been directing traffic from the back, and set-piece delivery might actually be the difference in this game. It's been two set-piece goals and a 2-goal lead for Devonport. Lennox doesn't have anything in front of her, so we'll just play for the line. As McLeod misses that one. Sullivan. A little ricochet off. Doy will collect that one. Can she hit it on her left foot? Winds up. Well blocked. McLeod. More time than she thought. Didn't get a yell from her teammates. You can see that Shreve and Bologna and Neil really have had a lot of work to do back there for Glenorchy. In the main, they've been pretty good in open play. They're looking a little bit tired now, Glenorchy. Here's Butler. Got Tayton behind her. Tayton's going to have to be clean here. The foot was right on the hammer. Smith in the area. Sorry, Sims in the area. Here's Smith following up as well. You could see Grace Sims looking for a little poach off back, and Glenorchy just feel like they just don't really have much to kick to up forward at the moment. Can't really progress the ball right now. And again, that is a bit of a symptom of not having Brown as kind of an outlet, but also Gidon, who again, had that injury in that first half, and would like to see how it would have shaken out if she could have stayed on the park, but was walking off, but hopefully not too serious for Knight's star players. Here's King again, is showing such good awareness, doesn't get the ball back from foot. Sullivan will collect it though. Poke in from Doy using those long levers as Lennox gets run over by Bidwell. Now Knights feel if they can steal one in the next couple of minutes, they might be within a half a shot of tying it up. But as I said, it's been hard going in this second half. I think really sort of flipped a switch, definitely in terms of their pressing. Devonport made it very hard for Glenorchy to get anything. Here's Butler. It's harried off it by Doy. Forward goes Foot. Doy's made a good continued run here. She'll get there with a bit of room to spare. Nice ball in over the top of Sims though. Nice shape on that one. Bayes. Lennox. For a bit of space. King slides in, misses a challenge, gets through another challenge, and Wiley makes a big clearance. Had to be made there. I think Lennox could have run the whole length of the pitch there. And I think if you're a South Hobart supporter watching this one just with one eye on it, would have been pretty good equation in that first half. You would have thought, oh, look, maybe Glenorchy will do us a little favour here, but Strikers have run off the top. Shreve asking for it and takes a nice touch in front of Doy. Tayton didn't have any time to turn. Bidwell using those long legs. Here goes Sims. One of the quicker players in the league. Bologna's behind her. She get it away. Pitt. She will also get it away. But yeah, it does leave the league in a little bit of an interesting shape if this result does hold. With South Hobart playing Taroona today. They've just got underway. So, ooh, dangerous ball in, and away it goes again by Neil. Yeah, I was going to say half shout for a handball there. Hands away from her body there. Tayton. It's equally Riverside at home to Kingborough a bit later on as well. I think for Glenorchy, that's sort of the goal this season. If they can finish above Kingborough, you would think that's a pretty good result for them this season. But much easier matchup, you have to say, with disparaging Riverside too much. They have improved a bit this season. And they're at home. King hits this one low, and it's ricocheted up. I thought that might have found the bottom corner. I'm not sure if Bidwell kind of got a foot on that or came off a Glenorchy Knights player. That ricochet, if it did find the back of the net, would have been unstoppable. As the Knights will make one more change. That might be it for them for the day. I'll say Millie Barrett is on the bench, but I don't know if she's that keen coming back off injury to get out there or not, but we'll see. So Hayley Carr coming on, and it looks like Bayes coming off on that far side. That's her first game back for a little bit as well. And in that first half did a lot well. Did a really good defensive job on Whitney Knight, and Sims pressing again here. It's been the story of the second half. It's been that Devonport press. And King, again, showing her class today. Nicely done to Smith. Hard ball for Carr to kind of field on her first entry into the game. And Bumford will collect and launch forward. Only as far as Tully Park. Bidwell. So, yeah, potentially, I mean, depending on the other result today and what happens here, and you don't want to call anything too early in sport generally, but just given the way that Devonport's form has been, we will maintain their 3-point gap against South Hobart as long as they get the job done against Taroona. which you'd think they'd be quite hungry to do, given a slight disappointment. Well, yeah, disappointment in the cup last week. Sullivan going to throw in. Lucy Foot wanting that ball. She'll get it quickly. Doesn't have much on that open side. I think would have liked Smith or Matthews, but good enough just to get it to King, and she'll put it forward again. Wiley. And out of play again. Devonport looking for more here. Sullivan. And into Bologna. Only as far as Bidwell, the goal scorers today. A rare goal for Annalie Bidwell. Has had a little bit of success off the set piece. And that league game against South Hobart proved to be the difference. And out of play again. Again, Glenorchy just, second half just has been a little bit ragged. They've had a bit of a plan to play out and just haven't been able to get any thrust through their midfield at all. Maybe a little bit tired after a lot of defending. Tiffany Pitt, in particular, that defensive midfield position, has done a lot of work back there, along with Shreve and Bologna. And they have been solid for most of this game. Yeah, just a period of 10 minutes, and that's the difference when you do play a side like Devonport. They will just put you under for enough time where they'll get a window of opportunity. They'll often take it. This will be another window of opportunity here for them. Another dead ball for King. A short ball this time, and Bumford has to palm it away. Foot had a little follow-up header and just nods it over the top of the bar. Oh. Yeah, it's just been as well drilled as they have been against these two top sides in both of their first halves they played in the last couple of weeks. The second half has not been as nice for the Knights supporters. And again, that's a learning process with such a young team. They do have that energy, and they know they can score and sort of hold it with the likes of South Hobart and Devonport. But again, that experience that both teams have. And here we go with Doi. Lovely finish into the bottom corner. It's run through well. Bit of space opening up for Oscar Doi, and she'll put it away and make it 4-1 for Devonport. It's been a clinical display in this second half. They've had all of the ball and all of the opportunities, and Oscar Doi with a hat-trick, a classy hat-trick is that, 2 off the head, and then she'll just put that one away. Don't have to ask her twice to pass that one into the bottom corner. And Bumford, no real chance. And as I said, Devonport just showing that medal that they have, able to respond to the challenge that Knights gave them, and it's been just a dominant display in this second half. And I think for Glenorchy, there's a lot to take from this game, and I guess this period of coming up against South and Devonport, but equally probably shows how much work they have to do to really be a force in this league. So they'll go back and try and figure out what comes next for them. A little bit of a softer schedule coming up, at least. And for Devonport, I think after a short week and the cup final, a little bit of celebration, they'll be very happy to have come through this one. And really, when they've had to respond, they have. And that's a good sign for Tom Ballantyne. We'll see, I guess, his thoughts about the first half as well. But pretty happy that you can step on the gas when they've needed to. Mia Smith will come through here. Go around the outside. Out comes Bumford, and a big sliding challenge. Got the ball first, and Smith's just a little bit worse for wear. You might think today Riverside might have a bit of a half opportunity here to move up into the mix where Knights and Lions are. I think the likes of Hannah Walsh sort of getting a bit more rhythm into her season after starting it with injury might sort of prove the difference. But Connolly, and with the inclusion of Otto this season, has added a little bit more dynamicism to that Riverside outfit. I guess in the men's as well, we should
touch upon. We'll talk about that a little bit later. As King will take another corner. Out it goes. It's away by Pitt. She'll follow up. I think a little bit unsung today, Ebony Pitt. And here comes Tom Ballantyne emptying his bench, making a triple substitution. Feeling comfortable enough to change things up. So looks like Lucy Foote and Grace Sims both coming off, and Gemma Matthews coming over from that far side. With Cayenne Harvey coming on, first player coming on in the number 16, as well as Emily Vorchet, or Vorcha. I like the Vorchet. A little French spin on it. And Abby Matthews as well coming on for Gemma Matthews. Sullivan, it's a hard challenge. It looks in a bit of pain after that one. It's a big, hard challenge. All ball. And again, Devonport have been so good in this area in the second half. They've just built a bit of a wall as Harvey with the fresh legs. Ooh, just takes a bit of a tumble and then it's landed on. Don't know if there was much in that, to be honest. I think either player touched each other except for just destabilising a bit. And Glenorchy will take a free kick anyway. Harvey trying to put herself into the mix. Bologna will take into the mix again. Doi, good head above most players on this Glenorchy Knights side, and seems to have a lot more time than a lot of other players in the league, so she'll nod that one back down. Doi again looking for a probing ball. There's Matthews. And EJ Sullivan. Not able to get that one. Shreve trying to get there first. Won't get there. Abby Matthews. For Mia Smith. Nice foot in by Neil. And she's probably been one of Glenorchy's better defenders today. Here's Shreve. Coming into that defensive midfield position. Doesn't have anything at all to kick to. She'll go past Bidwell. Have to do a lot of it on her own here. Goes back into the middle. And Park positioned very well. She's also been solid for Devonport today. Playing a slightly more kind of holding role. Just mopping up a lot for them. Here goes Doi. Rasping ball out wide. And Bumford. She'll just collect again. Let's play ball into Pitt, who's under pressure. Christie. This forward ball has been really difficult with King just sweeping off. Just reading it so well again. She'll team up with Mitchell. Lennox trying to give some semblance of a press here, but it's just not an organised one from Glenorchy so far. But Pitt makes a nice challenge and just overran the ball a little bit. Just got caught up on that artificial turf. Now Smith. He's got Matthews. Might be offside. So we'll just play it back for Doi. Doi again winds up and hits it well, and Bumford with a massive palm away. It's a good looking save. A good looking hit from Oscar Doi. It has looked very good just above her head. Those sort of loop balls. I think if that was any wider away, could have found the back of the net. Obviously had enough pace on it just to whack it over the top of the bar. Men's game following this one of the same team, so it should be a big matchup really. I think either side will be looking to sort of get a bit more momentum into the season. King with another good ball in.
almost falls for Doi. Does fall for it in the end. Blocked away. Park will hit and get under that one. A little more. Again, got to develop that attacking side of her game just a little bit, Tully Park, but has done so much in linking play and snuffing out the opposition attacks. As I said, that men's game coming up after this in the NPL. And really excitingly tonight, top of the table clash up in Launceston City versus South Hobart. I hope you tune into that one. I'll definitely keep at least one eye on that one, if not two. Rob Soward will be on the call up there today. I hope you join us there for that one. Also a bottom of the table clash in the NPL happening at the moment with Zebras and Lonnie United. So pretty well poised sort of round in the NPL this week. Whereas this definitely, on paper, probably the most competitive game. And really that first half was. Yeah, in the second it's been all strikers at the moment. Sullivan will try and put one more into the area. Bumford again, alert to the danger. She'll hit it forward for Lennox. Tayton rushing a little bit again. Since it might be a little bit of a step up for her coming out of the sort of underage and champ programs. A good experience again there. Probably almost a cliche at this point, how young this Knights team is and which potential they have. Oh, was King came across swinging. He didn't get the ball, but didn't really get the player either. And just in the end, just shielded off Lennox. I think it was bracing for impact there. And I really, I guess another talking point just out of this second half is who you'd give your 3 points to. I think at the end of your dinner might circle back to this game, and I think Askadoy probably deserves it given that she's finished the goals. But King's set up all three of Devonport goals. She might actually set up all four, really, when you think about how she's been playing from centre back and has done quite a lot in how she's been able to just mop up and sort of progress the play. But yeah, equally Doi with a hat-trick. You can't often go past that. And just the amount that she's also done with linking the play in that forward area, that seems to be another level of time that she has. And I think that's really where you see players sort of come in and be comfortable at a certain level. It's not so much even about like whether they're faster or more physically skilled, but really it's just about that sense of time that they have. And Doi is one of those players that just always looks like she's got time. Whitney Knight very similarly for Devonport, and to have both of those players in this team, it's a pretty good luxury to have, and two players you enjoy to watch as a spectator. It's Devonport still have time in this one. We'll go across to Vaucher into Doi. Goes long this time. Sullivan's got a little bit of space. She can get there first, but it's a good foot in. Away by McLeod. Christie. She'll go forward. And into Butler. I think those two players definitely are ones that will be players to watch throughout their careers here at Glenorchy. And I think the more games they get like this, coming up against sort of the best in the state, they'll be better off for it longer term. You can see they're both got talent. As Christie gets harried off it there, but we'll just need as they get a bit older and a bit more experienced, this will benefit them a lot. Doyle will take this one down. And Matthews not able to keep that one in. Almost to the lack of warm-up spaces here at KG5, where the Devonport men's side is warming up, ready for the next game. Into Tayton. And back into Doy. Carr. A little bit of time to sort of feed out. Bidwell again, one of the goal scorers. Linking up with the other goal scorer, Doy. Can't get through the wall of Shreve this time. It's a nice little ball in. Bologna, Christie. She go out wide, and that's a pretty good looking ball for Lennox. She gets past Wiley here. Park is covering. She's got Butler in the middle, but she's surrounded by yellow shirts. We'll go around one. We'll play a ball in now, and King had to be clean and was. Butler made a very good run, tried to poach that off her foot. She stuffed that up. Butler was in behind. Good pressing from Knights here. If they can finish off with a goal, that will be a good confidence builder for them going into the next couple of rounds, but can't get it through there, but well followed up again by Butler. And Tayton pulls the trigger again. And out of play, and really that's Knights' sort of first real moment where they've caused a little bit of panic in the strikers' half in this second half. Doing a lot more of that in the first, and they just haven't quite been able to get it going. Shreve had her shirt pulled, and Park able to be strong enough to just hold her off. Wiley launches it forward. Matthews is Bidwell. It's a lovely ball. Found a little window. Smith will go around the keeper. She's got an open goal and does put it away. A nice way to finish and put a cherry on the top of the ice cream for Devonport Strikers. Is 5 goals to the good. It's been 4 of them scored in this second half. And they'll be travelling up the Midlands very happy after how they've responded to that first half in this one. And that should end any hope of Glenorchy in this one. Not that they had much after the third goal. But yeah, just coming apart a little bit at the seams. Again, they've put in a big shift in there. You can tell some of their players are just a little bit tired after how much defending they've had to do. But that won't stop Bologna here. She'll run through, and they'll want to finish off with a bit of pride. Butler, going around Sullivan. Nicely taken as it finds its way into Knights men's setup. Jeez. And a corner for the Knights. I don't know if they've had one today. Can't recall if that's been the case yet. Be Pitt to send it in. It's low and hard. It's away by Bidwell. Sullivan now has a bit of space to run into. Mia Smith's in a lot of space over on that right-hand side. Matthews can get in behind here. She's one-on-one. Well done by Carr. Just take it off her there. Just out of play for a goal kick. That shade starting to really overtake this side of the ground. I think for the men's game it will be shady equation, probably with the solstice coming up. Not too much daylight left in this, which is Slightly depressing thought, but something we won't have to deal with hopefully too much longer. Bologna will take it out and hopefully not get taken out by the Strikers men's team there. There's a bit of chaos on both sidelines at the moment. Pitt, clearance is only gets as far as Abby Matthews. King's come up forward. She'll look to tee it up and goes down rather theatrically. Did cop one on the ankle there. It's a hand up by opposing captain. And King earning herself a free kick in an area. She's mighty dangerous from. If this does go in, this might actually change my votes, if I had any, to Georgia King. The theoretical vote of the commentator. King lines it up and goes for that slide, and Bumford had to be clean, made the save, and well followed in by Bidwell, who makes it 2 goals for herself and 6 for Devonport. It was a lovely hit, free kick, just trying to find that wide side. Bumford parried, but straight into the path of Bidwell. That'll be 6 for Devonport. Again, it's been a heavy scoring second half, and she's at that half-time break. Did sense that Devonport would bring something more in this second half, but it's really just been, as soon as that first goal went in, they broke the top off this Glenorchy Knights defence, and it's been a bit of a procession ever since. They might be in for more here. That will be the full-time whistle here in the WSL. Glenorchy going down to the visiting team, Devonport, 6-1, 2 goals to Annalie Bidwell, 4 to Askadoy, and 3 to Askadoy and 1 to Mia Smith. There we go. Just sort out the scorers for you there, but just a clinical display in this second half. Glenorchy battled well and hard in that first half, but weren't able to hold up the dam, and they've gone down. And for them, they'll be looking forward to just trying to eke out a bit more of these next few games after coming through the South Hobart and Devonport test. Defeated for Devonport, it's more winning and just backing up that cup win to try and secure a back-to-back title. Been an impressive display here at KG5, and one that was a close game for a half, and then Devonport just putting the foot to the throat of the Glenorchy Knights. And they'll walk off this pitch very happy as they clap the supporters off. And they'll go in to the next couple of weeks with a lot of momentum out of that one. Well, thanks so much for joining me here at KG5. My name's Alex Mummery, and I hope you tune in to the rest of the games coming up here on Football Tasmania TV. And if not, I'll see you next time.